Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the brand new Mattel Justice League Action Mighty Minis 3-pack featuring Batman, Firestorm, and Mr. Freeze. Yes, despite the fact that the last review that we looked at with the Superman, Lobo, and Hawkman didn't turn out all that great, turned into one big epic rant, Spot nonetheless will push on as we look at another 3-pack and hopefully can build ourselves a Darkseid. That's if I can actually stomach picking up another 2 of these sets. This set consists of a Batman, a Firestorm, and a Mr. Freeze. Now let me tack on some information based on the last video. The last video, I know I was a little harsh on this set, and I know Mighty Minis are released in blind bag figures. I truthfully feel that these figures should have been released in blind bags solely, and not released in package form. Additional packaging, such as what you see right here, adds to additional costs. So a figure set like these, and initially I felt like these were $12.99. I feel as if they were closer to $14.99 that I bought these at Toys R Us. Now, when you can get blind bag figures for about $2 to $3, the novelty obviously is the fact that they're blind bags. These, on the other hand, visibly, you're clearly can see with the figures inside. It's hard selling these for the $12 to $14 price point. Of course, I don't have to tell you, or I should tell you, I guess. Warning: choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years of age. They are a little small. Don't put them in your mouth. Back of the package, no character descriptions whatsoever. No names, no nothing. The sets, though, we already looked at, was the Superman, Lobo, and Hawkman. Now we're looking at the Batman, Firestorm, and Mr. Freeze, which come with the arms. Then there's a Flash, a Wonder Woman, and a Mongol, which comes with the torso. And then there's a variation to Batman, which is pretty bad. Like, you only get 4 sets, and already they repeat Batman. But you get a Batman, a Joker, and a Harley Quinn. Collect all 4 sets, and you can successfully build this guy. Even at his size, I think he's still a little too small. Head over to www.mattel.com, check out more from the Mighty Minis line. And without further ado, I'm going to take a break, get these opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Justice League Action Mighty Minis 3-pack. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Let me first start by saying I'm actually surprised that all 3 of these Mighty Minis are standing. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at is the Build-A-Figures. There goes Batman, as quickly as I say that. Stand him up. There we go. First thing we're going to look at is some Build-A-Figure pieces for Darkseid. I don't really have much I can add these to because I don't have the torso piece yet, or the lower half. I'm going to see if maybe I can find the other 2 sets at Toys R Us. Reluctantly. It's the price you pay as a reviewer. I know somebody would say, well, Spot, why are you picking these up? If you don't like them, to show you guys, you're very welcome. But it comes with, or the set comes with, a pair of arms that can then go, reach off camera, with the torso, or I should say the head, which will sit atop the torso, and we would have Darkseid. Again, I don't really have a torso to go by, so we can't really do too much with these. Let me also tack on something to the previous video that we had a look at. When I'm looking at the packaging, I just want to bring in the clamshell, or the bubble portion that sits against the card. One thing that they indicate here is also that this is an exclusive, which also was for the Hawkman here too. So this is, I guess, one benefit. It's not, I say benefit, I mean, it's ridiculous, but one benefit picking up these face value rather than getting them in blind bags, I suppose. I guess that is an indication that these are going to be in blind bags as well, is that there is an exclusive figure. In this case, Mr. Freeze is the exclusive to this set. Hawkman, in his fantastic paint job, was the exclusive to the Superman and the Lobo. So, I mean, if you obviously want to pick up the set for that, I don't know why you would want to. Nonetheless, let's have a look at the Mighty Minis. We'll bring the camera in. There we go. There's Batman. Not terrible. Not terrible as a blind bag. Not terrible as a vending machine premium. Pretty terrible, though, for a 3-pack retail release. I mean, the figures are bare bones. They pretty much use the same body mold, aside from a little bit of tweaking in the arms, and Firestorm had the different shoulders. But they're essentially the same mold of figure, give or take. Costume-wise, Batman looks pretty good. He doesn't quite look like this in the series. He looks a little bit more slimmer. And also, I think the emblem looks slightly different as well. Paint's pretty good on Batman. It could be better. I mean, he's got a little bit of imperfection on his shoulder. His utility belt looks a little on the sloppy side near the bottom portion. But it's a far cry from the Hawkman that we already had a look at. His cape falls off a lot. A lot. It doesn't stay in place whatsoever. You can try as you may, plug it into place, and as quickly as you put it in, it comes back out again. Articulation on Batman. Let's just bring the camera back so we're not so super close. Articulation on Batman, his head rotates. Arms rotate all the way around. Waist swivels. It's such a very gray line to be reviewing as well. Not gray in the sense of Batman's costume, but gray because I don't mind the line, and I'm sounding like a broken record, I don't mind these if they were released in blind bags. It bothers me more so that they're released in card form, and it bothers me immensely understanding that maybe there are toy news out there right now showcasing maybe new figures, but if this is the only figures that we're going to get from Justice League Action, I really hope that's not the case, which will only further rage me out as to why we got these above just figures, just strictly figures. So I just want to mention that because I know, I can nitpick these and somebody could say, well, they are releasing these in figure form as well. If they're releasing them in figure form, that's not as bad. I just hope this is not all we're getting. Alright, so having a look at Firestorm, surprisingly he's a lot cleaner, despite the fact that his paint applications, he has so much more going on than Hawkman. You know what? We'll segue ourselves into showing the Hawkman. Here's Firestorm. Fairly clean paint. The reds, the whites are all nicely painted on. Here is disastrous Hawkman. Exclusive or not, he looks like a train wreck. Of the two figures, I think Firestorm is the more superior looking figure. Hawkman, though, oof, just put him to the side. I like the sculpt on the hair. Very minimal sculpting as well on these. The additional tooling on the shoulder pad area. I mean, they're not roughly, roughly they're about the same similar figure. They probably use the same similar bodies on a couple of these and they just mix and match them. Lobo looked like he was a very distinct mold. Peg hole in the backside there. So like the chest, as you can see, looks like it's the same. The legs might be slightly different, obviously. The arms slightly different, and then of course the head. So it'll mix and match depending on the figures that we're looking at. Articulation on Firestorm, same as Batman. The arms, the head, and the torso. Very rubbery figures also on these. Very, very rubbery. There's Firestorm. And finally, the exclusive in this set is Mr.Freeze. Mr. Freeze has a more straight-up stance. Peg holes in his hands. I don't know if maybe the Mighty Minis might get weapons. I don't think so. But might get weapons in the blind bags. Possibly. I don't know. He does have a removable dome. Don't leave it off too long or he's gonna, the heat will kill him. There's his little clear dome. I mean, it's nice that you could at least remove it and not be a glued on piece. Let's have a look at his face. His face is pretty nicely sculpted for the size of the figure. Very much a Black Mantis sort of coloring. Kind of a metallic blue. And then we got a darker black in the arms, the legs, and the belt. Nice coloring on his face, though. And I suppose, again, he is the exclusive to the set. The only way you can get Mr. Freeze, the only way you can get... Oh, sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. The only way you can get Hawkman. I was just joking about the throwing up. It was just because Hawkman. But if the Hawkman is your preferred exclusive, you can get him. Or I'm sure, again, you can get these in blind bags. I don't even know. I'm sure there's blind bags of these available. Mighty Minis, they'll do them. The blind bags, I think, sell better. These will sit on shelves, which is funny. They'll sit probably peg warmers, these guys, but the blind bags will probably sell better. Why Mattel just didn't release these in blind bags to start off with and that's it. I don't know. Articulation on Mr. Freeze. His head rotates. Sorry, his head rotates. Put on the dome. Torso rotates. And arms rotate. And there is Mr. Freeze. Again, a mixed bag, guys. A mixed bag. I mean, truthfully speaking, you've seen the 2 reviews that we've already had a look at. To get them in these little fully packaged figures obviously drives the price up further. These being a $12 to $14 price point, I don't think they're worth it. If you granted pick up a couple of blind bags at about $3 a piece and you find these figures inside, bingo bango, perfectly fine with that. We've gotten lesser figures in blind bags, and I can really write off blind bags as an acceptable means of collecting. The novelty, the fun is picking these up, you open them up, you don't know the figure inside. Getting them like this though, and seeing clearly their shortcomings, I don't see these as worth it. Even if you incorporate Darkseid's Build-A-Figure components, which will then obviously be a draw for me to then pick up the other 2 sets just so I can finish off Darkseid. Curse you, Mattel. I don't personally see these as worth it. I hope Mattel gives us other figures and not solely these, because then these will be just simply a throwaway. These are essentially exactly that. They're a throwaway. No interest for me to ever want to pick up more of these other than finishing off the Darkseid. Other than that, I would not pick up more of these. Would I recommend these? What do you think? I would say no. No. Pick them up, obviously, if you want the Darkseid. If not, I would say these are a total pass. Today's collectible spot, though, we're looking at the new Mattel Mighty Minis. This was the Justice League action. And I also might add, the only reason why I picked these up were because they were Justice League action. And I'm just so anxious for new figures from the upcoming Justice League line. So that's essentially why I picked up the 3 packs. Certainly, though, stay tuned, guys. Spot's got more videos heading your way soon. Thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.